So that's it. That's the end of another transfer window, and Chelsea did a sensational bit of business over this summer. So let's just go over them, shall we? Stick around. Hello my friends, and welcome back to the Blue Pride of London. I'm your host Nathan, and it's an absolute joy to have all of you here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we get started, I just want to ask you, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean so much to me, and if at any points you like this video, hit the thumbs up button just down there. It really does help us all out. And yeah, going forwards, what a transfer window we have had. It has been a successful summer's transfers for Chelsea Football Club, and you know, we are definitely in the green. But let's have a quick little chat about the deadline transfer that Chelsea made literally on sort of like the last moment of the window. So let's have a look at our new players, shall we? So on the final day of the transfer window, Chelsea signed the Atletico Madrid midfielder Saul Niguez. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong, but you know, I've got the entire season to try to correct myself. But yeah, this midfielder, he seems to be a bit of a proper little engine. And, you know, I say we're talking about missing pieces within the Chelsea team. And obviously we had the one big missing piece, the goal scorer. But with the sort of recurrent injuries that Conte seems to be having sort of last season and this season, to try to replace him in midfield would have been very difficult. But it looks like Chelsea has sort of got a fourth choice midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder. Now, he made over 300 appearances since his debut in 2012 for Atletico Madrid, and he was part of the title-winning season last season for Atletico as well. And yeah, we've got him on loan with the option to buy next season, which I think is in the region of about £40 million. And we only paid roughly around about £4 million in a loan fee for this particular midfielder as well. And he does have some serious stats. He is a Spanish international, aged 28 years old, which is a perfect age for the midfielder of his type. He seems to be quite a dominant midfielder. He has scored some sensational goals in the Spanish league, La Liga. I think he did like his debut goal, which was in the Madrid derby, which is a sensational sort of like bicycle kick, flying kick going forward. And yeah, like he can come up with the goods. He's not really sort of like a defensive midfielder where he will sort of sit in front of the back line and sort of clear up a few little things. He is the type of midfielder that will go from box to box, always looking for a forward pass. Which, if you consider that Conte is having a few little niggles with his muscles at the moment, you know, he is getting on in years. He has played an awful lot of games since he came to Chelsea as well, you know, winning almost everything at club level and also on an international level. You know, so his time as our sort of like proper first choice is probably coming to an end. Will he sort of walk straight into the starting lineup? Probably not. If all of our players are fit, he will probably be a bit of a bench warmer. But when we need those sort of like extra sort of like fresh legs, I can see him being really sort of like used, especially in cup games as well. Remember, Chelsea are fighting on 7 fronts this season, already claiming 1 trophy, with it's the Super Cup, and then we've still got the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, and don't forget in December we are off to Japan to try to win the one cup that we have not yet got in our trophy cabinet, the Club World Cup. I'm pretty sure we're going to see an awful lot of this player this season, probably mainly as a sort of like a substitution coming forward. But yeah, a sensational bit of business. But let's have a look at the other 2 signings that we've only made. So 3 overall. Of course, we started quite early with our with Willy Caballero leaving on a free transfer, or on a free, like sort of like his contract sort of expiring, actually, rather. And then we needed a 3rd choice goalkeeper. So Marcus Bettinelli came in, and you know, we got him free from Fulham, an English goalkeeper. He technically can be classed as an international. Again, not entirely too sure if he's going to be a properly used goalkeeper. I think during the League Cups and the FA Cups, he might be the goalkeeper on the bench, giving Mendy the time off. But it was the big race of trying to get a solid forward, a goal scorer, the missing piece of our Chelsea team. And yeah, we had all sorts of names being thrown about. You know, we had Harry Kane. Oh, who else did we have going forward? We had a few, didn't we? I can't remember at the time, but Harry Kane was the main one, and also Lukaku came up every now and then. And we did think we were almost losing out on both of them until Lukaku sort of turned around and went, no, I want to go back to Chelsea. I want to sort of prove myself back in the Premier League. I'm a completely different player now, and I want to come to the club that I love. And yes, we paid almost £100 million for Lukaku. So you put the free transfer of Marcus Bettinelli, Romelu Lukaku, and also Sol Niguez. I am going to get that wrong. Please forgive me. So overall, we spent just over £105 million overall of players coming in, which in the long run, for what Chelsea and the Premier League have gone forward, I think once again, the Premier League spent over £1 billion in transfer fees, but Chelsea were one of the least spenders amongst these sort of like so-called top six. Arsenal spent big, Man United spent big, Man City spent big. Some big names have come back to their clubs. Of course, we cannot sort of like disguise away from what Cristiano Ronaldo coming back to Manchester United sort of represents of that particular sort of type of signing. But it's the players that left Chelsea this transfer window which really sort of shines a light on how well Chelsea did in this transfer window. Yes, Chelsea started pre-season with a huge squad. So many players came back from off loan. So many players were sort of brought up from the academy. And of course, we still had a lot of players still away on international duty and also being rested. So by the time we had the full team all together when the friendlies sort of started, Chelsea had a very, very, very big squad. And one of the biggest jobs that we had to do was try to sort of offload as many as we can. And in this current climate where, you know, a lot of clubs, the big European clubs, especially in Spain and Germany and France, they didn't really have a lot of cash to spread around. Like, we know the troubles that Barcelona seem to be in with financial, hence the reason why Messi had to leave. And, you know, the likes of Bayern Munich not really having a lot of money. Real Madrid is in an awful lot of debt. So to try to get rid of all these players it was a challenge. And Chelsea did a sensational job by doing this. And I know I keep banging on about that, but you have to think, almost 44 players left the club this season, either on loan or being sold or just being sort of released on a free transfer. And, you know, Chelsea pretty much had like a car boot sale. They set up a table outside Stamford Bridge going, players for sale, come and get your players. We have some players. We've got quality players. We've got good youth players. Come along and grab hold of your players. And yeah, overall, we made a profit. Almost 16 to 20 million pounds is what Chelsea have generated in player sales along the loans, and Tammy Abraham going to Rome, a couple of guys going to AC Milan, and so on and so forth. And all of a sudden, this huge squad just went shrunk down into sort of the bare essentials, the squad that Chelsea needs. We are still quite a big squad. We have a fantastic depth. If you look at our benches in the last 3 Premier League games, you know, those type of players can walk into almost any Premier League team, and they're our sort of reserves. They're the players that we're sort of like, do you know what? You rest up. You'll be played in these games. We'll bring you on as a substitute. It is terrifying. So overall, even though we've just spent just over 100 million in players coming in, we have earned over 110 million of players going out. And if you look at these sort of like, I know that the financial fair play wasn't really that much in effect going forward into this season because of the sort of like COVID-19 and everything like that. We've managed to sort of like recoup the money that we have spent, and we haven't even touched the money that we earned winning the Champions League, coming fourth in the Premier League, being FA Cup runners up. We've not even touched that money. Now, yeah, there was a little sort of like chase trying to get our sort of like a defender, which, you know, I think it was Jules Koundé is what we were trying to get from Seville, and it never sort of materialised. But as a Chelsea fan, I don't think anybody, after looking at the performance that we had against Liverpool, is worried about our defence overall. I think we have a great defence. Yeah, Trevor Chalobah has sort of immersed as a potential superstar in that back, and he came in against Liverpool in the midfield area as well. So just sort of show how versatile this player can be and how much he is trusted by Thomas Tuchel as well. There has been a rumour come out today that Chelsea might in fact still go after Koundé in the January transfer window, but like Chelsea Football Club is at the time, we sit at the top table when it comes to players, and any single player that is available will be sort of referred to Chelsea. Do you remember that time where we sort of like when Messi was like, yeah, I'm leaving Barcelona, and all of a sudden it was like, Messi's going to Chelsea, which I would have loved to have seen. Don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have seen Messi in a Chelsea shirt. I would love to have seen him in the Premier League. But he chose the easy way out. He wanted to go to Paris, where it's sort of like a guaranteed league title, a guaranteed cup, sort of French cup win as well. And they are obviously trying to get that golden chalice of the Champions League. So they really, really sort of tried and sort of succeeded getting him. I would have loved to have seen Messi come to the Premier League. And if he went to Man City to sort of go and show that he is potentially the player that we all believe he is by being one of the best in the world, which is exactly what Ronaldo done. Like, he knows that he's a proven Premier League player. He's played here before. At the age of 36, can he still do it for Manchester United? We don't know. He's not the same player, but he is a Rolls Royce of an athlete. So there is a huge chance that he will continue with the sort of like fantastic form that he shows whenever he sort of plays. But will Chelsea go for Jules Koundé in the January transfer window, or will we wait again until next season, or what's it, next summer transfer window, where then obviously we have the big sort of like, Haaland is now up for a minimum price of 60 million, which I really don't think he will actually go for. Like, it's one of these sort of questions I'm going for. Yeah, he's got a sort of a clause in his contract saying he is available for 60 million, but they're not going to sell him for that. They're not going to sell him. Like, I don't know why they held on to him so much when the likes of Chelsea and Man City were offering the best part of 120 plus for him, because it's going to be a bidding war. And Dortmund will just sit there and keep going, well, yeah, keep coming, guys, keep coming. How much more do you want to spend? Until eventually it's probably going to go up to 150 million anyway. But like I said, Chelsea have done some sensational business. So going into the next two transfer windows, we still have a pocket full of cash ready to spend. And considering how we end this season, either as retaining Champions League winners, Premier League winners, and all these other cup competitions that we have potentially got to sell, that we're going to have like a big bag full of cash that we can spend in the next two transfer windows going forward. And hopefully Chelsea are going to be a very beautiful team to want to play for going into the next 2 or 3 years, especially if you look at the way the team is performing right now. But guys, I'm extremely interested to see what you think of these transfer windows. Maybe correct my pronunciation on a couple of the players that I have just spoken about as well. So guys, yeah, hit your comments down below. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. And until next time, guys, enjoy the England internationals or whatever international team you are supporting. Enjoy the football, and I will see you later. Cheerio.